You are now listening to the podcast for geeks and the stuff they love, where each week we'll talk about everything from anime to movies, games, and prop collecting with the people who create and love it. I'm Jeromy.
I'm Vinz.
And this is your Geek Fix.
So, off mic, a few minutes ago, we were actually talking about the Ecto 1 and stuff. You got one in the background there. And it's a Lego one. Speaking of which, Lego is about to have a subscription service.
Oh, really?
Which goes back to releasing a lot of their old kits. And the way that they're going to release that is literally part building. And so they'll be sending so much out at a time. And the rumor is that as you get these, if as you complete a certain set, that it will also send you instructions on how to combine those sets to make something else. And so that's, and some of these sets too are, when I say retro, I mean like some of these sets are sets that they made back when I was a kid. So these are bringing back some oldies but goodies. But thought I'd get some of your input on this too, because I get a lot of questions because I've been doing a part build, a subscription part build, and then I also I've seen a lot of people asking me about different subscription services too, because I think that these things have become most popular recently because people have been stuck inside the past couple of years, or they're not very social, or you just want sometimes it's just nice to get something in the mail. You ever just bought something just so you could get something in the mail?
Well, I recently posted on my Twitter that I was in the supermarket doing groceries, and the guy, we have a post office in the supermarket, and the guy was unloading packages, and he tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Hey, you weren't home. I tried ringing a couple of times, but here are your packages, man." And he just knew me by face and what address I had because I was doing.
Wow.
Yeah. And I said, "But don't you need my code or whatever?" I said, "No, man, I know you."
Yeah, I'm sure you are who you are.
Yeah. So they know me by face now, and I order a lot of stuff, so like Amazon stuff, but also I have a big set of hobbies, and all those things need something at least to be sent home at times. So
I for quite a while there, I think even now and then I'll go on eBay and I'll buy a bunch of stuff from China, things that I'm mildly interested in that don't cost too much, but it takes about 30 days to get stuff from China or Japan.
Yeah.
So by the time it arrives, you forgot that you also ordered it or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So then it's like, oh, this is a surprise.
Yeah.
Look at what I got. I got a few figures that way and some other things.
Yeah, I used to buy from
AliExpress
AliExpress a lot because a few years ago now, you wouldn't have to pay income tax or something, or import tax, on stuff that was below 21 euros. So AliExpress is pretty cheap. So you make sure you would, cut your orders in increments of 21 euros. You would be, safe. But now, for everything you buy outside of the Netherlands, you'll have to pay import duty. So it's become significantly more expensive. So I actually had like double platinum status for a while because I bought so much stuff from AliExpress. It was like media converters or cables or all the stuff for the retro gaming. So like HDMI adapters or even flash cards, all that kind of stuff. I would regularly buy or backlit screen modifications for a Game Boy or Game Gear or whatever.
Yeah.
But since it became so expensive now, Amazon basically took over because it's fast, it's relatively cheap. Not as cheap as AliExpress, but it's still, you get it in either the same day or the day after. So
it's fast shipping. I have an Amazon what do we call it, hub that's just south of the. I live kind of near the south end of the border of the state that I live in.
Okay, yeah.
And they're in the north end. And so if I order something, I can get it usually next morning, which is so strange. Yeah. Like you order it, and the next morning there it is. Yeah, it's really bizarre, but I mean, I guess the same is true as actually the service that I was using. I had made a comment on one of our broadcasts. I did a live stream and was talking to people on the live stream about part building and subscription services. The two biggest ones at that time were Eagle Moss, who has kits like the Ecto One, and what else do they have?
DeLorean.
Them that does Knight Rider, I think. Which one?
The DeLorean from Back to
the DeLorean. Yeah, that's right. They have the DeLorean
and
too.
the smaller Star Trek ships also are from there.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. They've got a new one of the next generation ships, so they just barely released. And then on the flip side, you got the fan home one, which you got the Iron Man, you got R2D2. There's a car from Fast and Furious, stuff like that.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Now, these services though, they aren't the ones that make these. They're just distributors. So, most all of these kits, so both of those are using DeAgostini kits.
Yeah.
DeAgostini is the one that also made the really high-end Millennium Falcon that you could go into, and it had all the lights in it and stuff, and there's all sorts of videos out there. Can't get that anymore. But it was one that they actually went in and they scanned the actual Millennium Falcon from Empire Strikes Back.
Oh wow, nice.
And was able to match all the parts and all the greeblies and everything else. And so, yeah, I mean, that's kind of cool. But naturally, the big concern with any type of thing like that, where you don't get it all at once, is what if the company shuts down?
Yeah.
Because it takes like 2 years, right? They close down tomorrow. Then I've got a half-built whatever, and I've spent a lot of money on. Or, what if I don't get certain things? There's always those kind of concerns.
Yeah.
And those are realistic concerns, because even though I think that they have become more popular recently, there's a problem right now with buying anything that's being produced, because electronics-wise, there's a lot of, you can't get boards made right now very well. No. If they're specialized, you can't get, certain things made through China or Japan are a little bit difficult right now. And so there's big gaps there. And then shipping wise, the other side is that shipping wise, I had a couple boxes that were literally sitting on a shipping, like some freight, ship somewhere, and just waiting because we've had a lot of problems with being able to get things, processed fast enough. So then you've paid for something that also you're waiting a month and a half maybe to have show up or whatever.
Yeah, I have that with the loot crate. I have the Fallout crate, and I'm still waiting on like 3 crates from last year to arrive. Still.
Are you?
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
For me, that's not so much parts. So I can imagine it's even worse when you've invested like a lot of money into a model, and then those 3 boxes will never arrive or get lost somewhere, and then you get the other stuff. That would be the most annoying thing ever, I think. Oh
yeah, I mean, well, so I have had where I received. Let's see, what was it I was working on? Iron Man. I've been building the Iron Man and the R2D2 from Panhome, which I'll disclose. They contact me, strangely enough, right after I did that podcast or the live stream where I said I don't know about this. These are the upsides. These are the downsides. They contacted me like the next day and said, "Well, you want to check it out? We'll send it out to you." And I didn't take the money because they also offered to pay for you to do it, because I wanted to be able to be openly honest about everything and stuff like that. But one thing that has happened is when I first got it, I couldn't get the website to work, and then I had number 14 or something like that. One of the boxes didn't come, and because I've been building them kind of back to back, I didn't notice it until it was kind of too late. But I gave them a phone call. They were able to send me out that box separate. I didn't have any additional issues. Same thing with the other one. I've been able to get some things.
Yeah, that's good.
But on the flip side, I also got comments from other people that they haven't received anything for a little while. So, what do you do? You did the loot crate thing, so good example. So usually those come with what, like you usually get like a T-shirt or a bobblehead or something like that, don't you?
Yeah, well, what I like about the Fallout crate is that it's mostly in-universe stuff.
Oh yeah.
So I got like a Mr. Handy model and some ice cube trays with with the Pip Boy guy on it, with Vault Boy on it, and some T-shirts also. So for me, it was like, I love Fallout. I mean, you love Fallout as well. I like the aesthetics of it, and it was a way to get some, really specifically made for that crate stuff that you wouldn't be able to get anywhere else. And we, of course.
How much are those crates typically?
Depends. I think it's about. They can get pretty expensive, but I think it's about 30 euros or something, and then shipping also. And they're expensive because it's international shipping for us, because it comes from America. So you have to be lucky. But they're quite expensive, so for me it was worth it because you get some exclusive Fallout stuff. We have the Bethesda store, the European Bethesda store, where you can get some stuff. And there's like some, like Zavi is a big one. That's from the Hut Group. Yeah. They sell some stuff, and I try to get my hands on everything I can get, Fallout wise at least, if it's cheap enough. So the loot crate was a good thing because then you get some cool T-shirts and some in-universe kind of things like models or stickers or whatever. Yeah, so I like that.
Well, so the crate itself usually is something. It looks like something.
No, these are just cardboard boxes, unfortunately.
Are they just normal boxes?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I was gonna say I know that they have some that they've
like the interior or something turns into I've seen that before, but for me the Fallout ones are just blue with like the Vault-Tec kind of vibe.
That's cool.
But I've been waiting for 3 of them so far, and I've been sending out emails, and then the customer service representative says, I just canceled your subscription. I said, no, I want the boxes. I want a refund because some of them are very late. And you keep on, billing me for stuff that I haven't received in a couple of months. There's something like a middle road that we could, find ourselves in that I'm happy, you're happy.
Yeah, so I don't. Yeah, just out all of that. Yeah.
But
so did it work out in the end?
I haven't gotten it yet. But they have a Twitter account that I tried to reach, and they had. In the profile, there's a link to @AskLootCrate or something, and that account is disabled because they just couldn't handle all the negative backlash from people complaining that they didn't get their stuff. So some people are saying that it might not have gone well with LootCrate. I doubt it because, as you said before, people have been flocking to these services and trying that stuff. But on the other hand, if one big container filled with crates is lost somewhere in the port of Shanghai or whatever, there's a lot of unhappy customers, of course. And if they're all asking for refunds, then you're cutting into your losses, of course.
Well,
but
Loot Crate's one of those that has multiple brands that they work with. It's pretty similar to Hello, is a subscription service that kind of does something similar. Boxu, if I'm into Japanese things as well, so Boxu, I have not purchased it or tried it, but people that I know from Japan have told me it's cool on one hand because it goes through and it gives you a little book that describes what region that item came from and something that went into it.
Yeah. And we would be gladly sponsored by Boxu, just if they're listening.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but I was about to say something. It's not so great. Though. On the flip side, the actual things that they send in the box, though, most of them are things that you could get much cheaper just going to your local store, to your local Asian market. Yeah. And so, it's like, I got 3 flavors of Kit Kat. Well, is it worth that amount? I don't know. But
the thing with Japan, though, is that it's the how do you say, the market penetration to actually get stuff from Japan is difficult. Because with food also. one of the things when I was in Japan what I really like is possible to get. I mean, if there's going to be a subscription service for this, I'll immediately jump on it. Like the Gari Gari Kun ice cream, like the little square ones.
Yeah, how are you gonna do that?
Yeah. So if they could get the ice cream over here, I would do it. But I think it might.
Coolish is the other one.
Which one?
Coolish.
Coolish. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's an ice cream thing that's just have like a bag, and you on a hot summer day or something you can squish it out. People really like it a lot, but you're not gonna be able to transport that or ship it. So it's
maybe because it's sealed, it's easier than just the ice cream itself. Maybe if you can.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, we'll see. But I think then also because it's curated also, and with the stories, it might be more appealing. I actually am going to receive some sweets from Japan from a friend of mine who lives in Japan. Because, colleague and friend of mine, so we became friends working together. And whenever I find something that is exclusively in Japan, I will just send him an email via work saying, "Hey, guy, can you order this for me?" And then send it to me. I'll PayPal you the rest of the money later. And he actually couldn't buy some stuff, so I sent him more money, and he told me, what should I do with it? I said, well, go to your nearest convenience store and buy all the weird Japanese goodies.
7-Eleven.
Just go there, Family Mart or Lawson or whatever, and just
Family Mart.
Grab some stuff.
Get some chicken. That's a big thing. Family Mart chicken, boy. That's the Japanese. KFC.
Oh yeah,
but, yeah.
KFC and Christmas. That's big in Japan. I don't know why.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah. Just is the experience. I think that's the first thing to realize is, I mean, like, if you got something like that, like you said, I mean, you're able to look through something that has some of the information. If you're buying it knowing that you're getting it for the experience, the part building, the R2D2, for example, that I'm doing right now, I do like that it goes through. And inside the magazine, first goes through and tells you about the history of that electronic that you're doing. So, like, it goes through and talks about the history of LEDs, or it goes through and talks about, different types of programming, stuff like that.
Oh, cool, yeah.
And then you put together something that does that. So you're kind of learning through experience and stuff. But I'm surprised this hasn't been more noisy at my house than. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, that's part of the experience.
Yeah.
But and if you go into that with that, or on the other one that I'm doing, the Iron Man one, learning all the different versions of Iron Man and all the different versions of what that the storyline has been.
Yeah,
that also is something that kind of plays in there.
Yeah, the suit is its own character basically.
Yeah. Cost wise, I think that they're reasonable. All of them. The Ecto one for the Eagle Moss and stuff. I don't have any tie-in with Eagle Moss, but at the same time, I really would like that Ecto one, or like you said, the DeLorean.
Yeah, I have parts of it because someone.
Do you?
Yeah, so I contacted Eagle Moss a while back because initially they would only ship the Ecto one to Germany, and there was this weird geocode thing that when people logged in from the Netherlands, they would go to like some weird island somewhere in the Pacific, I believe. They thought you were there, like on American soil or whatever. Like, I don't know. I'm not going to name any names just to pee people off. But there was some island group somewhere that also had NL or something, or they mistyped it. So the geo redirect would go to the US page, and I couldn't buy stuff for the Netherlands at least. And there was a lot of back and forth, and then I thought, if I buy the Lego Ecto one, which we spoke about earlier, that would be more fun and cheaper than getting the Eagle Moss one. And the Eagle Moss one is really, really big also, so I wouldn't have the room for it. But at a flea market, someone apparently decided to buy like the first 2 or 3 DeLorean kits, and they didn't do anything with it, so I bought it for like $150. Like 50 cents a piece. So now I can have the back of the DeLorean with the lights and the out of time license plate.
Oh, really?
I can have that
cool.
and make it into a display or something for cheap. It's all metal. It's really good stuff. I mean, I really like the fact that those things are metal and high quality. Yeah. So I appreciate
the price. I mean, price wise, like with that one. I mean, price wise, makes sense. Everyone, they add it up in their head. And they're like, well, if I add up this many subscriptions, this comes out to be about $1,200 to $1,500. And it's like, yeah,
but that's...
you go to buy that same thing somewhere at that quality and made of metal, it's going to cost that much. Like the Iron Man I'm doing right now. If you were to buy, this thing is about almost 3 feet tall.
Oh wow!
And so if you were to go to buy a figure that size, that's all metal. This thing is all metal with the lights and all that stuff. Yeah, it's really articulating. It would cost way more than that. I mean, I have 12-inch figures that are more than that.
Yeah.
So I think you got to kind of keep it in perspective that way. But again, what if you don't get the whole thing, or you drop out, or they close, or it's a gamble.
Yeah.
It's always
actually had a fun. In the previous podcast, I talked about being part of the robotics club at work, and there was this. I go thrifting a lot to flea markets and all that stuff. So a long time ago, I found a shopping cart filled with robotics parts that were basically, the whole cart was filled to the brim with new old stock robotics parts, and they were called. I forgot the name now, but it's called Real Robotics or something, and they're like these little mouse droids that you could build. I think it's from D'Agostini also, but it was also a subscription service with a magazine, and you would get parts that you could build your own robots with it. And I just bought the whole stock and just left it at work. And whenever someone needed parts or wanted to make their own little mouse droid or whatever, they could use it.
Yeah.
But it was left there for a while, and then all of a sudden a security guard saw that box and he says, I used to have these things at home with the full subscription. I have all the magazines, all the videotapes, all the VHS tapes, all the CDs with the programming stuff on it, and all the stuff was there. And he asked a random guy there who was in the lab at that moment, saying, "Do you want that stuff?" And they said, "Yeah, sure." So they packed it all with my stuff. So my wife was happy that all the stuff was gone. So when we had to relocate or at least move all the stuff back, I now have 2 boxes. Instead of one, but with the complete set of magazines with every build step and everything complete, just from 1 till 68 or something, and I can finally complete a lot of this stuff. So it's retro stuff. It's like 90s robotic stuff. It's still very analog, and you have to program the ICs, and LCD screens were super hip back then, and it's really cool stuff. Yeah.
Well, that sounds awesome. Yeah, I think there's been some really, if we could go back in time, I mean, I remember when you could go to the comic book store or to the model shop, and they had the magazines there was like a sandwich bag that was stapled to them, and it would have some part to do something, that was in there. I was going to ask Toy Paloy if he ever got any of those, the figures that you can buy now, like Marvel figures and stuff, always come with one piece. Of usually it takes like 6 figures
to build a figure
to build the build a figure, the large one. So you buy 6 figures and suddenly you've got Hulk, big scale Hulk, or else you just have one piece of him because you didn't bother to buy more. Yeah, I mean, like, there's stuff like that where you can know, at least I can get a hold of this or that. Those are kind of pretty good too, but I don't know.
That's always a way to sell you over to buy more, right?
That's right, yeah. Well, then it's like, well, now I got to collect this other one. Yeah. I wouldn't have minded the Hulk, the big Hulk. What about subscription services as far as like digital subscription services? Is there certain ones that you're watching more than others?
Recently, although it's quite new here in the Netherlands, it's HBO Max. Because
that's a good one.
I don't know if you know Fringe, the series.
I haven't watched it yet,
it's great. I'm familiar. We are watching it for the second time, and it's like it's like the X-Files. But it blows your mind going forward. It's made by I believe J.J. Abrams is part of it, and also Alex Kurtzman and Roberto Orci or something, like the people working on
that's on HBO Max.
On ours it is. It might be,
but
it's like John Noble, the actor who plays Walter, who is like a scientist who. The whole premise is basically that the world is now experiencing science on a level that could be considered magical or on the fringe of reality, so to say. And the scientist Walter has been mainly responsible for research that that went a bit too far. So like genetic engineering and all that kind of stuff. And now he's being put on a task force with several people, like X-Files, to figure out, okay, what is going on, and there are like weird stuff happening, and they call it the pattern. So why is this pattern of almost paranormal stuff happening? And it's a really, really great series. The ending kind of becomes a bit difficult to grasp, but it is a finished series, so it has a proper ending. And it is great sci-fi. And back in the day, what it did was mind-blowing, because there's a big plot twist at the end of season 1 that I won't spoil, but it's totally worth it, because it gets really cool. So I can highly recommend it. So we've been rewatching it recently, and it's great.
HBO's I mean, in case people don't know, so geeky wise, if you're wanting access to like Cartoon Network, Adult Swim, Studio Ghibli, and all the DC stuff. In fact, they even have access to links for reading the digital comics.
Oh, really?
That's all on HBO Max. Oh. Yeah, yep.
That might not be in the Netherlands because of
all those other things. Oh, really? They don't. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Well, I'll have to check into that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, at least our version. That's
cool.
That's what it has in there. Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
I recently watched
on the other side,
Peacemaker on HBO, which is great.
Oh, did you?
It's so great.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So wrong, but so great. I love John Cena in it. He's a great actor for a wrestler, even, but he's a great actor.
It's a funny show.
Yeah.
That one's hard not to give something away. Yeah. But on the flip side, like. Yeah,
and you don't have to watch the movie at all, because it says everything you need to know in the beginning.
Yeah, it tells you beforehand. Yeah. But he's a much better character in this than he was in the movie.
Yeah, definitely.
But at the same time, it's like so likable. The intro, even the part where they're all dancing,
dumb dance,
that by itself is pretty good.
And the soundtrack is really good as well. If you like glam rock and metal, it's great.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, all the characters and things. That was a good series. I hope they keep going with that one.
Yeah.
That was
and also, good. I think it's on. Is it on HBO Max or is it on Apple TV? What's his name again? Oh, I just Ted Lasso, the soccer show.
Oh yeah, that's Apple.
That's Apple. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's also very nice.
Yeah, I haven't gotten to see that because I don't have Apple.
I managed to see it without having Apple TV, but
Did you?
I don't know how. But I won't tell you. No, my brother has Apple TV on his TV.
Okay. Yeah, it's hard because Apple has some shows that I got a trial Apple.
All right, yeah.
And I watched the one where they essentially made fun of Bethesda. They have a series that I can't remember the name of it though.
It's like Silicon Valley or something, or
it's kind of along the same lines of Silicon Valley. This one they basically have developed a game. It has the guy. It was done by the guy that did. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
All right, yeah.
But at any rate, and that was pretty funny, and I got to trial it and see that and see a couple of movies they had. But I didn't see enough other things where I'd want to like pay to do that every month. You know what I mean?
No. I'd happily pay for Ted Lasso, but yeah, for the rest.
Oh yeah. Well, still, I have to pay for all my Marvel stuff through Disney, but that's pretty reasonably priced.
Yeah, Amazon Prime for me,
Star Wars.
You get the free shipping for Amazon, and you get some pretty good shows as well.
Yeah.
For me, that's a no-brainer. I mean, I spend more money on shipping than I would spend monthly on the subscription service. So.
Oh yeah, it's there's I think with Prime, if I can't find something Prime is what I use. Pretty standard.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's some good ones that are out there. Then you have some free ones too. Crackle. People never talk about Crackle, and yet it's completely free.
Oh, really?
So you can watch all the Spider-Man movies, all that stuff. Yeah, because it's the Sony streaming service, and they still don't charge for it.
Okay.
So you can go on there, you can watch any old show or TV show, or they had shows that were especially made only for Crackle.
I just got a message saying, unfortunately, we're not currently available in this region, so that might.
Oh, well, there you go. So yeah, I'm just teasing you.
Yeah,
with things
thanks.
You can't
Thanks
access.
for nothing.
Sorry about that. Yeah, it's all good.
No.
Those things kind of go around, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard. I got to do a VPN service or something. Same
thing with
switch that
Netflix.
around.
I mean, when I was in Japan, I could watch all the anime I could find. When I'm here, it's way less. It's getting better though. But
Yeah. I don't know what's going to happen with Netflix either, because a lot of stuff that I like watching on their stuff, I think they're losing all their licenses too. So,
yeah. And the stuff that they
who
make has
knows?
been a bit fillery, kind of stretched out. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm happy with the Disney Plus one. I really like a lot. I've been watching that quite a bit.
Yeah.
Because they've been turning out enough series. Miss Marvel, we talked about that last time.
Not
We
yet
talked
seen
about
it.
Marvel stuff. You haven't seen it yet?
No.
Oh, it's pretty good. I'm pretty
All right.
impressed with it.
No, I just saw
it's a
the Multiverse of Madness because it came out on Disney Plus, and
Oh yeah.
it was okay.
Well, here's the thing about that. We got to talk about that instead of one of our recent when I was with Martin and with India, is if you go into it thinking of it as a Sam Raimi movie and that it's a B movie, and you look for that stuff, it makes it better. But the other thing is they filmed that thing too much focused on the idea of 3D.
Yeah.
So luckily I saw it in 3D and it worked fine. But I thought about what it would have looked like or how a lot of stuff would have made sense if I hadn't.
Yeah.
And I don't think it would work. I think you'd have to see it in 3D. So it's like it kind of shuts down that opportunity. But I don't know.
I really liked Bruce
Yeah.
Campbell cameo though with Daddy Pizza or however he called
Yeah.
himself.
Yeah. He's got to make it into every one of those movies.
Yeah, I didn't see the
But
car
really-
though, but
It was rotating in the air.
oh really?
It was,
nice.
it was one of the cars that they walked past that was floating around.
cool.
Yeah.
Cool, yeah.
Pretty cool. But anyway.
But
Well,
I didn't go in it knowing it was a Sam Raimi movie, so it was a nice surprise.
Oh, yeah.
But,
It doesn't start out looking like it, but by the end, when they have the skeletons,
Yeah.
they were clearly made with the
Yeah.
like stop animation kind of thing, and then that ending and stuff without giving any too much away. It was like, oh yeah, this is one of those
on point,
movies,
yeah.
all right, yeah. But at any rate, well, once again, we've burned through another episode. Hope you liked it. If you enjoyed this podcast and want more, stay tuned for that. Also, check out our channel and join the community on YouTube that goes by the same name, Your Geek Fix. And also check out Vinz on Twitter at MassiveDMG_ and on his YouTube channel, MassiveDMG. We'd like you to be a part of this podcast as well. So please send your questions and stories to yourgeekfix@gmail.com. In the meantime, this has been Your Geek Fix.